The Four Noble Truths explained simply. For over 2,500 years, the teachings of Gautama Buddha have guided countless seekers toward a path of wisdom, peace, and enlightenment. At the heart of his philosophy lies the Four Noble Truths, a profound framework that explains the nature of suffering, its causes, and the way to liberation. These truths are not abstract theories but practical insights that help us navigate life's inevitable struggles with clarity and resilience. By understanding and applying them, we can free ourselves from unnecessary suffering and cultivate a life of true inner peace. In this comprehensive guide, we will break down each of the Four Noble Truths in a clear, relatable, and practical way, exploring their meaning, significance, and real-world applications. 1. The first noble truth, the reality of suffering, dukkha. The first noble truth states a simple yet profound reality: suffering exists. No matter who we are, where we live, or what we achieve, we all experience some form of pain, loss, or dissatisfaction. Understanding dukkha. In Buddhism, suffering or dukkha goes beyond just physical pain. It encompasses ordinary suffering, dukkha physical pain, aging, illness, death, and emotional distress such as grief, fear, and loneliness. Suffering due to change, viparinama dukkha, the pain of impermanence, happiness, success, and relationships all change or fade away. Suffering due to conditioned existence, sankhara dukkha, the deep dissatisfaction that arises from our attachments, desires, and false sense of self. The universality of suffering. Suffering is an unavoidable aspect of life, regardless of status, wealth, or achievements. Even those who seem to have it all still experience inner turmoil. This truth can be observed in everyday situations. A wealthy businessperson achieves financial success but still feels unfulfilled. A young couple deeply in love faces heartbreak when circumstances change. A person struggles with aging, resisting the inevitable passage of time. Recognizing suffering does not mean embracing pessimism. Instead, it is a call to acknowledge reality rather than resist it. When we deny suffering or try to escape it, we only create deeper frustration and pain. The illusion of permanent happiness. Many people believe that if they achieve certain goals, wealth, status, love, they will attain lasting happiness. However, everything in life is impermanent. Even moments of joy are fleeting, and clinging to them can lead to greater suffering when they inevitably pass. Buddhism teaches that happiness and suffering are not separate, they are two sides of the same coin. The moment we realize that happiness cannot exist without suffering, we begin to develop a deeper acceptance of life's natural flow. Transforming our relationship with suffering. Rather than viewing suffering as an enemy, we can see it as a teacher. Every painful experience presents an opportunity for growth, wisdom, and self-awareness. Instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" we can shift our perspective to, "What can I learn from this?" Practical ways to acknowledge and accept suffering. Mindful awareness, observe suffering without judgment or resistance. Self-compassion, treat yourself with kindness rather than self-criticism. Gratitude practice, focus on what remains rather than what is lost. Letting go of expectations, accept life as it unfolds rather than clinging to an idealized version of reality. The key lesson? Suffering is part of life. Avoiding or denying it only deepens our struggles. Instead, we must acknowledge suffering as the first step toward true freedom. 2. The second noble truth, the cause of suffering, samadaya. The second noble truth explains that suffering is not random, it has a cause. The Buddha identified this cause as tanha, craving or attachment. The three forms of tanha, craving. 1. Kama tanha, craving for sensual pleasures, the desire for pleasure, material goods, or physical comfort. This includes craving food, sex, entertainment, and luxury, believing they will bring lasting happiness. 2. Bhavatanha, craving for existence, the desire to become something or to be someone of significance. This manifests as ambition, attachment to identity, and the pursuit of status, power, or immortality. 3. Vibhavatanha, craving for non-existence, the desire to escape reality, avoid pain, or numb emotions. This is seen in self-destructive behaviors, addiction, or avoidance of responsibilities and difficult emotions. How attachment creates suffering. When we cling to desires, we inevitably suffer because we crave success but fear failure. The desire to be recognized and admired leads to stress, competition, and disappointment when things don't go as planned. We seek love but suffer when relationships change. Romantic attachment often comes with expectations, jealousy, and fear of loss, making relationships a source of both joy and pain. We chase happiness but feel empty when it fades. The fleeting nature of pleasure means we are constantly seeking the next high, whether through material possessions, experiences, or achievements. The illusion of control. One of the greatest causes of suffering is our illusion of control. We believe we can shape everything to fit our desires, but life is unpredictable. Clinging to things beyond our control only leads to frustration and despair. True peace comes from accepting reality as it is, rather than how we want it to be. Breaking free from attachment. To reduce suffering, we must loosen our grip on desires and develop a sense of inner contentment. This does not mean giving up goals or relationships, but rather approaching them with a sense of balance and non-attachment. Practices to overcome tanha, craving. Mindfulness meditation, observe cravings as they arise without acting on them. Detachment from outcomes, focus on effort rather than results. Gratitude practice, appreciate the present instead of always seeking more. Minimalism, simplify life by letting go of unnecessary material possessions. Compassion and generosity, shift focus from self-centered desires to helping others. By understanding the root of suffering, we can let go of unhealthy attachments and cultivate a mindset of acceptance, peace, and fulfillment. 3. The third noble truth, the end of suffering, nirodha. The third noble truth offers hope: suffering can end. This state of liberation is known as nirvana, a profound peace beyond attachment and craving. What is nirvana? Nirvana is not a place but a state of inner freedom where one no longer clings to desires or fears. It is the ultimate realization that true peace is found within, not in external circumstances. The path to letting go. To reach this state, one must develop deep mindfulness, wisdom, and compassion. Here are the fundamental steps. 1. Cultivating awareness, observe desires without reacting impulsively. 2. Accepting impermanence, understand that all things are transient. 3. Practicing detachment, engage in life fully but without clinging. 4. Developing loving kindness, metta, shift from self-centered craving to compassionate giving. 5. Deepening meditation, regular practice calms the mind and reveals deeper insights. Experiencing nirvana in everyday life. Nirvana does not have to be a distant goal. Even in daily life, we can cultivate glimpses of inner peace and clarity by practicing letting go of grievances and resentment. Living in the present moment instead of dwelling in the past or future. Choosing wisdom over impulsive reactions. As we continue down this path, we begin to experience moments of deep contentment, unshaken by external circumstances. Nirvana is not about escaping life, it is about fully embracing it with wisdom and freedom. By applying these principles, we take concrete steps toward a life free from unnecessary suffering, filled with greater joy, peace, and fulfillment. 4. The fourth noble truth, the path to freedom, magga. The fourth noble truth provides a practical path to end suffering, the Noble Eightfold Path, a set of ethical and mental practices that lead to enlightenment. The Noble Eightfold Path. 1. Right view, see life clearly, without illusion. 2. Right intention, cultivate compassion and non-attachment. 3. Right speech, speak truthfully and kindly. 4. Right action, act ethically and with integrity. 5. Right livelihood, choose a career that aligns with your values. 6. Right effort, develop positive habits and let go of negativity. 7. Right mindfulness, stay present and aware. 8. Right concentration, meditate to cultivate deep inner peace. How the Noble Eightfold Path leads to liberation. By following this path, we transform our thoughts, behaviors, and relationships, creating a life of greater clarity, purpose, and peace. The Eightfold Path is not a rigid doctrine but a guiding framework for developing wisdom and ethical conduct. Applying the Eightfold Path in daily life. Mindfulness in speech and actions, speak and act with kindness and awareness. Letting go of ego and desire, cultivate detachment from harmful cravings. Meditation and self-reflection, regular practice deepens insight and inner peace. By integrating these teachings into our lives, we develop the resilience to face challenges with wisdom, grace, and unwavering inner peace. The journey toward liberation is not about removing difficulties but about changing our relationship with them. Folded hands, may you walk this path with clarity and compassion, discovering the profound freedom that lies within. Conclusion: applying the Four Noble Truths in daily life. The Four Noble Truths are not just philosophical ideas, they are a practical guide to reducing suffering and living with greater peace and wisdom. To integrate them into daily life, white heavy checkmark: recognize suffering without denial or avoidance. White heavy checkmark: observe how attachment and craving cause distress. White heavy checkmark: practice letting go and embracing impermanence. White heavy checkmark: follow the Eightfold Path to cultivate a peaceful, meaningful life. By deeply understanding and living these truths, we begin to free ourselves from suffering, develop inner wisdom, and cultivate true happiness. Folded hands, may you walk the path of wisdom and find freedom from suffering.